On this day, July 15th, 1983, the Famicom was released in Japan, making today the 40th anniversary of the Nintendo Entertainment System. And so, of course, I have to come along and I have to do my 7 Nintendo Entertainment System games that changed my life. This was not easy. I have a list. It is an extensively long list, and it was hard to boil it down to 7 games. For this first video, I'm probably going to make several of these for the NES because there's just that many games that were impactful, that entertained and delighted me and fired my imagination. But for now, here's the first 7. And we're going to start it off with Bubble Bobble. I put a stupid amount of time into this game. Like, myself and a friend just played the living hell out of it. Bubbling all the things and going through the levels and the warps and the frustrations and just the music. And there have been so many variations of Bubble Bobble, and these characters have shown up all over the place. But Bubble Bobble on the NES is just something about this game just thrilled, delighted, and frustrated the hell out of me. And I had to put it first on the list because it's Bubble Bobble. If you know, you know. Next is a title, one of the ubiquitous titles of the NES era, and of course it's Battletoads. I had conflicts because I had choices. Considering the beat-em-up genre, I could have went with Double Dragon, the numerous other games. I mean, I almost put the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game here first. But I didn't, because Battletoads just has that special place where you wanted to drive your controller and possibly your head through a wall. Getting through those ladder levels, the bike riding level, and just the difficulty of this insane game. Beating it felt like an actual achievement. It felt like you accomplished something, and for kids, that was meaningful. And when we beat this, I cried. I'm not ashamed to admit it, because I was so happy after weeks of effort, we actually did the thing. And so, you know, and the new Battletoads that Xbox released not that long ago, with couch co-op, but no online co-op, which was disappointing, was entertaining. It was nowhere near the difficulty of the original, but it was still entertaining. It was good to catch up with the Toads again. Next, you know this game. Everybody knows this game. Everybody knows the Konami code. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA, select, start, to get those damn things you needed to get anywhere in this game. Because Contra was a pain in the ass, especially trying to play it alone. 2-player, you had a better chance, but when you were a kid, shooting the things, getting the angles, getting the power-ups, dying over and over again, you just put the code in. You knew you were just gonna do it. You had to. Well, maybe you didn't have to, but I did, and I don't regret it. It was fun. It was a thing. It was a moment in time that I'll never capture again. And that's true of most of these games. But I have to put this one on the list because even now I still play these games. And that's River City Ransom, which, yes, was a beat-em-up, but it was a beat-em-up RPG, which was interesting. And you knew those characters if you, that art style, if you played Super Dodgeball, and just, there was something about just beating up hordes of dudes, buying power-ups and new skills so you could beat up more dudes and get more coins and work your way through to the end. And just, it was good fun. 2-player fun. And that's what defined the NES. And yes, of course, later game systems, but the NES really brought that more to the forefront, I think, than the Sega did. We can debate that, but for me, it was the NES. That was the 2-player late in the middle of the night when you're a kid at a sleepover, having fun. You just wanted to pound on some dudes in a video game. That sounded wrong, and I don't care. River City Ransom and Battletoads and Double Dragon, all those games. You just had good old fun smashing dudes with metal pipes and throwing tires at them and chains and baseball bats, and it sounds like a BDSM dungeon. I don't care. I loved this game, and I still play River City 3 Kingdoms came out. River City Girls 2, which was fun. We played it on the channel before. There's just something about this franchise that held with me ever since the first one. And it stands the test of time today as a game that I will always enjoy and go back to play again. Next, I have to put a Mario on here, and love it or hate it, Mario 3 is that choice. Yes, I played the hell out of Mario 1. I actually had a lot of fun with Mario 2, but Mario 3 was the Mario experience, the platforms, we got to finally fly, and just, it defines what became ubiquitous with Mario today. You know, all those power-ups, Peach, all the things. Sure, she wasn't named that then, but it doesn't matter. But laid the groundwork and the foundation for what Mario is. And it was an experience, and it was fun, and it was just something that we enjoyed playing, and I will always adore. Of course, you know what's coming next. There's only 2 slots left. What could it possibly be? I could have put this at the front, and it would not surprise you. But of course, it's the original Final Fantasy, which, when I was a kid, just blew my mind. Here was something close to Dungeons and Dragons, but in video game form. I was picking the fighters I wanted. You know, my mage, my white mage, the thief. I had a choice on the 4 characters, and we went on an adventure. And that's what Final Fantasy was. Sure, it was, you know, a bit janky then. Things were a bit weird and at times frustrating, but it was something different that just changed my landscape of what video games could be. And of course, led to my lifelong passion with the franchise. So, where do we end this list? What iconic game could I talk about as my 7th of these first 7 NES titles? Those who know me know. And when I told Majin and Rekt what the 7th one was, it didn't surprise either of them. And that would be Spy vs. Spy, which, if you were a teenager in the 70s, the 80s, you knew Mad Magazine, you knew the Spies. This was the co-op, well, not really a co-op game, this was a PvP game. You were competing against a friend to try to make an escape or blow your friend up and not get blown up in return. Like, there was something about this that was just stupid fun. You could play over and over again with friends, taking turns, just trying to outwit each other and make your escape. And it was just good, entertaining fun, and would later come back in different forms over many times. You can see some of the basis here of even Dead by Daylight. If you really squint your eyes and cock your head to the left, you kind of see it. You know, you're trying to escape and not get caught. The difference being is that the other player is also trying to escape and not get caught, while you're at the same time trying to find a way to stop the other person from escaping. So, you know, I have a hard time with this list because there's, you know, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure Game, Adventures of Lolo, Snake Rattle and Roll. I could go on and on and on. City Connection, Elevator Action. There are just so many games. The Ultimate Series on the NES were fantastic that I could do 4 more lists and probably still just scratch the surface on the NES games. But these are my first 7. And releasing it today on the 40th anniversary of the original release of the Nintendo just seems right. So what are your 7? What are your fondest memories of these games? What are your fondest memories of the NES? Let's get into it. Give me your stories in the comments. If you've enjoyed these videos, of course, like, subscribe. Even emojis help, apparently, supposedly, according to people who do the YouTube thing regularly. I'm still learning. I don't know. But, you know, share, tell your friends. Let's discuss it. Have a good day. And, you know, take care of each other and take care of yourselves. Happy birthday, Nintendo.